let's not sugarcoat it. 2025 is shaping up to be the year of retail carnage. The giants we grew up with, the ones that felt too big to fail, are collapsing one by one. Grocery chains, department stores, fast food giants, even the neighborhood pharmacies you've relied on for decades. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on 13 of the biggest names that could vanish from your town next. So buckle up, because chances are your favorite store is already on borrowed time. Number 13, Burger King. Let's kick things off with a whopper. Literally, Burger King, the so-called king of flame-grilled fast food, just blindsided customers by shutting down dozens of locations across the country overnight. In places like Port St. Lucie and Fort Pierce, Florida, 3 restaurants locked their doors without warning. No goodbye, no we'll be back soon. Just dark windows, cold grills, and for-lease signs popping up like weeds. And what did corporate have to say about it? Nothing. Zero statements, zero explanations, just radio silence while loyal customers scratched their heads and workers scrambled for new jobs. But if you've driven past a Burger King lately, you probably saw the writing on the wall. McDonald's is out here revamping stores with digital kiosks, mobile ordering, and modern menus. Chick-fil-A is dominating drive-thrus with lightning-fast service and die-hard fans. And Burger King? It's still rocking buildings that look like they haven't been updated since 2005. Peeling paint, flickering signs, and a menu that's felt stale longer than the fries sitting under the heat lamp. If they don't wake up soon, the king's crown might be the next thing up for auction. Number 12, Macy's. Let's talk about Macy's, the retail giant that once defined the American shopping experience. Back-to-school shopping, Macy's, Black Friday stampedes, Macy's, prom dresses, wedding suits, cookware for your first apartment, all Macy's. But those glory days? Crumbling, fast. In 2025, Macy's announced plans to close 65 more stores, with an even bigger hit coming in 2026, when they plan to shut down 150 total locations. And here's the worst part. They aren't saying which stores are next. They call it streamlining. Let's call it what it really is: corporate panic mode. See, Macy's failed to evolve, while Amazon turned online shopping into an unstoppable machine. While TJ Maxx and Marshalls made bargain hunting feel exciting again, Macy's stayed stuck in the past. Outdated stores, fake sale signs that fooled no one, empty aisles that feel more like a ghost town than a retail destination. Let's be honest, you've felt it. You've walked through those oversized, understocked floors, wondering why you even bothered to show up. Macy's claims they're investing in 350 go-forward locations. But let's not sugarcoat it. That's corporate speak for we're cutting dead weight and hoping the rest survives. So if you've still got a Macy's nearby, enjoy it while you can, because that big red store closing banner might be getting printed as we speak. And when it goes up, it's not just Macy's that disappears. It's another nail in the coffin for the American mall. Number 11, Big Lots. Let's talk about Big Lots. The discount store that promised big savings, but is now delivering big closures. Big Lots just dropped a bombshell that's sending shockwaves through the retail world. 340 stores across the country, shutting down for good. This isn't just trimming the fat. This is a full-on collapse of one of America's biggest budget-friendly brands. For years, Big Lots positioned itself as the go-to spot for cheap home goods, furniture that looked decent from a distance, seasonal decor you could grab for a few bucks, snacks, paper towels, throw pillows, all stacked high, all priced low. It was the store you walked into thinking, hey, I'll just grab one thing, and somehow walked out with a cart full of random deals. But now, even bargain hunters are tapping out. Inflation has wrecked their customer base. People who were already stretching every dollar just to get by. When groceries cost twice as much as they did a year ago, when rent's through the roof, when gas prices make you think twice about driving across town, even a $5 lamp starts to feel like a luxury. Big Lots filed for bankruptcy, and the ripple effects are already hitting communities like Stewart and Vero Beach, Florida, where stores are sitting dark and empty. And what's left? A handful of locations that are barely hanging on, surrounded by empty parking lots and store closing signs that feel like a countdown clock ticking away. Here's the real kicker. If a discount chain like Big Lots can't make it, what does that mean for the rest of the industry? We're not talking about high-end retailers here. We're talking about the bottom of the price ladder. Big Lots was supposed to be the last stop for families looking to save, the place you went when Walmart felt too expensive. And now, even they're getting crushed. This isn't just a Big Lots problem. This is a warning sign for every other mid-range retailer out there. Because if Big Lots can't survive in the save every penny economy of 2025. Number 10, Red Lobster. Grab a biscuit and hold on to your shrimp. Red Lobster is officially in deep water, once known as the go-to place for fancy dining on a budget. Red Lobster built its reputation on buttery biscuits, giant shrimp platters, and the promise of affordable seafood for the masses. Families celebrated birthdays there, couples went on first dates, and for years it worked. But 2025, it's a different story. Red Lobster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they didn't just dip their toes in the water, they dove in head first, drowning in debt and closing nearly 100 locations across the country. So, what happened? Let's talk about the disaster that started it all, the infamous Endless Shrimp promotion. It sounded like a dream deal. Unlimited shrimp for just $20? What could go wrong? Everything. While seafood prices were skyrocketing, Red Lobster decided to offer bottomless shrimp at rock-bottom prices. The goal was simple: get more people in the door. Here's the thing: they lost money on every plate. The more shrimp people ate, the deeper the company sank. They thought it would boost profits. Instead, it backfired big time. Red Lobster reportedly lost millions on the promotion. And just like that, the endless shrimp deal became the endless headache that sent them spiraling into bankruptcy. But that's not the only problem. Since 2019, Red Lobster has seen a 30% drop in customers. 1 in 3 diners just stopped showing up. People aren't willing to spend $30 on shrimp scampi when groceries are already stretching their wallets. And let's be honest, the experience hasn't aged well. The decor feels dated, the food quality hit or miss, and the excitement long gone. Sure, they've restructured and claimed they're on the road to recovery. But let's not kid ourselves. They're not thriving. They're surviving. And if they keep making boneheaded moves like shrimp for life during an economic meltdown, they'll be tossing more than seafood overboard. They'll be throwing in the towel for good. Number 9, Office Depot. All right, let's get real for a second. Raise your hand if you've actually set foot in an Office Depot in the last year. Crickets? Yeah, that's exactly the problem. 120 more Office Depot locations are set to shut down by mid-2025. And honestly, it's about time someone called it like it is. Let's face it, who's rushing out to buy printer ink or a pack of Post-it notes when Amazon will drop it on your doorstep tomorrow for less? And with millions still working from home, that corporate office supply run, it's basically dead. You don't need to fill your trunk with printer paper when your office is now your couch, your kitchen table, or your bed. Office Depot's been bleeding for years. Rising rent, shrinking foot traffic, a customer base that's moved online or cut back entirely. And now, they're spinning it like some kind of digital transformation. Let me translate that for you. We're shutting down stores because nobody shops here anymore. That's it. That's the real headline. And behind those headlines, thousands of workers about to lose their jobs. Thousands of families wondering how they'll make ends meet. And for your community, another giant empty retail shell sitting in the middle of a shopping center. Lights off, doors locked, and for lease signs taped to the windows. It's not just the employees who lose out. Cities and towns lose tax revenue. Neighboring stores lose foot traffic. And customers? Well, let's be honest. Most moved on years ago. Office Depot says they're focusing on digital solutions and streamlining for the future. But come on, we all know what that really means. We're done betting on brick and mortar. So if your local Office Depot still has the lights on, enjoy it while it lasts, because the closed forever sign might already be in the back room, waiting to go up next. Number 8, Tijuana Flats. If you've never been to Tijuana Flats, let me paint the picture. Neon signs, goofy wall art, a hot sauce bar with names like Death Wish and Smack My Ass and Call Me Sally. This place was the quirky, casual Tex-Mex stop for families and college students in Florida and beyond. But here's what they didn't tell you when they handed you that giant burrito. The chain is broke. Yep, Chapter 11, bankruptcy hit them like a drop tray of nachos. 11 locations already gone. Doors locked, lights out, tacos off the table. The company got greedy. They overexpanded way too fast, opening locations like they were handing out flyers. All while inflation, rising food costs, and higher wages made every taco more expensive to make and harder to sell. And let's be real, how often do you crave Tijuana Flats when there's a Taco Bell, Chipotle, or local Mexican joint just down the street? Those two locations still hanging on in places like Stewart and Port St. Lucie? They're basically living on borrowed time. If you're a fan of their queso or atomic hot sauce, better grab it while you can. Because another wave of closures is just one bad quarter away. Number 7, Sears. I know what you're thinking. Wait, Sears is still alive? Yes, barely. What used to be the king of American retail is now just a sad reminder of how fast you can fall when you ignore the future. Sears invented the mail-order catalog. They were Amazon before Amazon. But when the digital revolution hit, they fell asleep at the wheel. And now? 40 more stores are closing in 2025. Let that sink in. Sears, the store where your parents bought appliances, tools, mattresses, even clothes, is getting ripped out of malls and shopping centers like weeds. And it's not just stores shutting down. It's communities losing jobs, families losing reliable paychecks, shoppers losing yet another reason to step foot in what used to be the heart of every mall in America. The handful of Sears locations still open today? They're ghost towns. Empty aisles, flickering lights, clearance signs gathering dust. The writing's on the wall, folks. Sears isn't just dying. It's already dead. They just haven't printed the obituary yet. Number 6, Kohls. Kohls built an empire on clearance racks, Kohls Cash, and weekend shopping sprees that made you feel like you were saving money, even if you weren't. But in 2025, 85 stores are closing. Here's the brutal truth. Kohls got lazy. While shoppers moved online, Kohls stayed stuck in the paper coupon era. Remember when they teamed up with Amazon to accept returns in store? That sounded smart, right? It was, for about 5 minutes. Turns out, people were just dropping off packages and leaving. They weren't filling carts or spending extra cash. And without real foot traffic, Kohls was toast. And let's not forget how expensive they became. Shoppers wised up. They realized that 40% off sticker, it's 40% off an already inflated price. Now they're closing stores in waves, cutting jobs, and hoping their go-forward locations can carry the weight. Spoiler alert, They can't. If your local Kohls has been looking emptier lately, it's not your imagination. Number 5. Penney. Another one bites the dust. Penney, the place you used to trust for family clothes, home goods, and back-to-school sales, is shutting down 50 more stores this year. They tried everything: store remodels, new brands, fancy partnerships, but they couldn't outrun the tsunami that is online shopping. While Target and Amazon adapted, Penney was still printing flyers like it was 1999. And when the pandemic hit, it was game over for many locations. Foot traffic never recovered. And now, malls that depended on Penney as an anchor are crumbling right alongside them. Sure, some stores are still open, but the walls are closing in, the clearance racks are looking thinner, and the crowds? They're long gone. Number 4. Sam's Club. Walmart's warehouse giant is not as untouchable as you think. 20 Sam's Club locations are set to close this year. Why? Because Costco is eating their lunch. Costco has nailed the premium warehouse experience. Sam's? Not so much. Customers are realizing that the bulk deals at Sam's aren't always deals at all. Sometimes Walmart.com undercuts them. Sometimes Amazon does. And let's face it, inflation has made buying in bulk feel more like a budget risk than a reward. And those giant tubs of cheese balls and 50-roll toilet paper packs? Shoppers are asking themselves if it's really worth the upfront cash drain. Membership renewals are down, loyalty is fading, and Walmart's little sibling is looking weaker than ever. If you've noticed your Sam's Club looking a little slower, emptier, or more desperate to push memberships, you're not wrong. Number 3. Walgreens. And now, the neighborhood pharmacy you thought would always be there. Walgreens is closing 1,200 locations over the next 3 years. Think about that for a second. 1,200 stores. That's pharmacies, photo labs, convenience aisles, gone. And here's the kicker: they aren't saying where yet, so you might feel safe, but you're not. Walgreens is getting squeezed by Amazon's prescription delivery, Dollar General's creep into rural areas, and rising costs that are choking even the biggest players. Your go-to spot for toothpaste, cough drops, or a midnight pint of ice cream? It's not safe anymore. And when these stores shut down, it's not just the customers who lose out. It's the pharmacists, the cashiers, the stock clerks, the people keeping those stores alive, who get left behind with nothing but a corporate "thank you for your service." So, the next time you drive past a Walgreens, ask yourself, how long before that store closing sign goes up? Number 2. Express. Remember when Express was the place to shop if you wanted to look sharp without draining your entire paycheck? Yeah, those days are over. Express filed for the Chapter 11 bankruptcy in April 2025. And even though they're trying to restructure, we all know what that really means. Closures, layoffs, storefronts turning into clearance graveyards. Their one surviving location in Treasure Coast Square Mall. It's still open, for now. But let's not kid ourselves. Express has been losing the fast fashion race for years. They tried to keep up with Zara, H&M, and online juggernauts like Shein, but their prices stayed high while their styles got confused. They're stuck in retail limbo, too expensive for bargain hunters, too basic for fashion lovers, and in a world where people live in hoodies and yoga pants they bought online, who's rushing to a dying mall to spend $60 on a button-up shirt? Answer: no one. Number 1, Lowe's. And here it is, the biggest shocker on the list. Lowe's, America's second largest home improvement chain, is closing 30 more stores in 2025. Think about that. The place you counted on for paint, tools, lawnmowers, and weekend project supplies is pulling the plug on dozens of locations across the country. Why? Because even Lowe's can't outrun inflation. People are putting off home projects, skipping remodels, cutting budgets, and when families are choosing between groceries and new flooring, the flooring loses every time. And let's not forget Home Depot. Their biggest competitor is crushing it, while Lowe's struggles to keep up. Sure, they're pushing curbside pickup and e-commerce expansion. But let's be real. Home improvement is a touch-and-feel industry. People want to see the wood grain, feel the drill in their hand, match paint chips in person, and when their store disappears, they're not going to order online. They're just going to go to Home Depot. Thousands of workers, from cashiers to specialists, are about to lose their jobs. And once those big blue signs come down, those stores aren't coming back. So, what's the real story here? Is this just business as usual? Or are we watching the end of an era? Let's call it what it is. Retail is collapsing. Corporate giants are downsizing. Communities are losing jobs and stores. And no one's safe. Not fast food, not pharmacies, not home improvement giants. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Every store on this list got lazy. They overcharged. They underdelivered. They ignored what customers actually wanted: value, convenience, and trust. So while they file bankruptcy paperwork and hang store-closing banners, smart shoppers like you are moving on. You're shopping smarter. You're spending less. You're refusing to fall for the same overpriced, underwhelming tricks. And that's why you're here. Because you don't just shop. You dominate the aisles. So if this video opened your eyes to what's really happening in retail, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to Frugal Pro for weekly retail exposés, drop a comment. What store on this list surprised you the most? Let's talk about it. Let's share the knowledge, and let's keep saving money together. Until next time, shop smart, spend less, and never let them fool you again.